Federal High Court convicts Nnamdi Kanu for inciting violence leading to death of innocent citizens. Child rights experts advocate balancing attention between the boy and girl child.
Birth registration is one of the fundamental rights of a child. It's the legal identity of every child in any country, including Nigeria.
Nigeria and Singapore are strengthening ties in technical and vocational education. Welcome to the news desk at 3 on the NTA News 24, live from Abuja. I am your carrier, Clinton. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has convicted Nnamdi Kanu, leader of Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, for making broadcasts that incite violence. The court held that the sit-at-home order by the defendant, Nnamdi Kanu, led to the killing of Ahmed Gulak. The judge, Justice Omotosho, says the sit-at-home order has led to economic loss and death of innocent people. The court also convicts Kanu on count 3 for admitting being a member of a terrorist group and formation of ESN. The court equally finds Nnamdi Kanu guilty on counts 4 and 5 of inciting violence leading to burning of police stations, killing of police officers, and ordering of destruction of property of federal government. Earlier, the court dismissed Nnamdi Kanu's motion for more time to file his final written address. The judge, Justice Omotosho, rejected Kanu's repeated challenges and insisted that the courtroom had afforded him a fair hearing. Child rights experts emphasized the need for awareness and understanding of the Child Rights Act. This was during their discussion on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, where the experts stressed balancing attention between the boy and girl child and recognizing that while girls receive attention, boys also require support. Ekemini Williams monitored the discussion.
Nigeria's Child Rights Act of 2003 and state-level laws align with international standards. Yet, millions of children still face significant obstacles to education, protection, health, and dignity. Experts emphasize empowering rural parents, especially women, through education and economic support is crucial to addressing this issue.
When a parent is struggling just to feed a child, so their focus is on survival. Now, when a woman or a man or a father or mother has that empowerment, they are able to translate it to their children. We keep asking parents in rural community, do this for your child must do this, your child must go to school, but if they didn't have that experience and they managed to get to adulthood through survival, then how do we expect them to translate the values that we are asking them to translate?
So nobody's talking about men. Personally, as I'm talking to you, if you go through the Child Rights Act, the first thing, even what she says while she was talking, is right to identity. Mm-hmm. I got to discover that my children's right to identity have been derobed, even as I'm sitting here.
Most parents don't follow up on their children to read. Like him now, he said his father followed up on them reading newspapers. Now, you read your book, it's not your parents' business. You read newspapers. In fact, some people go on to allowing their children read any kind of things that they read what is not supposed to be for their kind of age group at that point in time. And as she said, sometimes they prioritize girl child over boy children.
The guests note focusing on addressing the root causes of poverty and inequality, which often limits parents' ability to provide for their children's needs, will break the cycle of poverty and create a brighter future for rural communities.
But a country cannot rely on service. We need to have regular administrative data to understand how many children are surviving, how many children are dying, and the reasons behind it as well. So birth registration is one of the fundamental rights of a child. It's the legal identity of every child in any country, including Nigeria.
The discussion concluded that collective action is necessary to safeguard children's rights and promote their overall development. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
early childhood development stakeholders are drawing up fresh strategies to support children growing up in Nigeria's conflict areas. The discussions took center stage at a national consultative meeting in Abuja, an initiative led by the Moving Minds Alliance. Ekene Ndulwe reports.
Crisis situations in Nigeria's northeast and northwest have pushed thousands of children into internally displaced settlements, cut off from early education, proper nutrition, and the stability every child deserves. Here in this hall, stakeholders are gathered around one mission: crafting bold strategies and securing the funding needed to support children growing up in conflict zones.
This is an issue that affects everyone, and no one institution, no one organization can do it alone. And so it requires government, it requires local organizations, it requires the voices of refugee leaders themselves, of displaced populations themselves, as well as private sector.
How do we meet the needs and provide the right resources? Financing is needed, technical support, resources, and right now what we see is a decrease in resources in the world going towards the support for children in education, health, nutrition. So for us, it's really a time to come together.
By nurturing children who can think, adapt, and thrive, they say the country can raise a generation resilient enough to reject violence and embrace responsible roles in society.
When a child's earliest experiences are shaped by violence, hunger, or uncertainty, the impact is lifelong. Not because they are weak children, but because we as a system have not fully supported this.
As the conversations fade, the stakeholders are calling for stronger investments in Nigeria's young minds to secure a brighter future. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
African leaders are being urged to prioritize policies and programs that align with the African Union's Agenda 2063, which calls for accelerated efforts towards achieving full gender equality across all sectors and the complete elimination of violence and discrimination against women. At the 2025 Africa Women Conference in Accra, Ghana, gender advocates are reinforcing these demands, emphasizing the need for stronger protections for children, particularly the girl child, and a renewed commitment to safeguarding their rights. Olusheye Adiagbo has more.
According to data from the International Trade Union Confederation, Africa, women make up more than half of Africa's population, only about 24% of the parliamentary seats, and a similar 24% of managerial positions. This persistent and troubling disparity continues to drive global debate. It is once again in focus at the 2025 Africa Women Conference in Accra, Ghana, where activists for women's and girls' rights from across the region are pushing conversations on inclusive governance.
Our gathering here is a testament that achieving gender equality remains a shared goal and a continental priority.
This year's theme, Legacy Meets Innovation, reminds us that the work of African women has always been the invincible engine pioneering our nations. And in this era of technology and creativity, we must boldly chart a new direction and amplify our impact.
As we convene in Accra, let us recognize that African women today stand at the intersection of legacy and innovation, shaping economies, leading enterprise, and transforming societies.
Participants are applauding ongoing efforts to amplify gender inclusivity across African countries, while also charting new pathways for greater impact.
The reason why we don't have good water, good schools and hospitals, because women are not in the right place to make the rightful decisions that will benefit the child, the vulnerable.
I've just been informed this morning that the Nigerian legislature is considering a bill before it to protect and reserve some seats for women. This is exactly what the AU Agenda 2063 enshrines.
The girls are not gone.
but we are calling upon others not to be scared, not to retreat, and no surrender. Nigerian sovereignty must be secured, and the girl child must be encouraged to be in school, must be secured to be in school, and must be given her rightful place.
A key moment during the opening session was a shared commitment by delegates to intensify efforts towards women's empowerment and strengthening protection for the rights of the girl child. From Accra in Ghana, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Nigeria and Singapore are strengthening ties in technical and vocational education following a bilateral meeting between Nigeria's Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa, and Singapore's Minister of Education, Desmond Lee. A statement signed by the Director, Press and Public Relations of the Federal Ministry of Education, Folashade Boriowo, says both ministers reaffirmed the long-standing relationship between the two nations and agreed to develop a new cooperation framework that expands collaboration beyond TVET into broader education and skills development. As part of his engagements in Singapore, Dr. Alausa toured the Institute of Technical Education, ITE, visiting its West and Central colleges. The minister also held further meetings with the leadership of ITE Education Services, where discussions progressed on revising the existing MOU between ITEs and Nigeria's National Board for Technical Education, NBTA. Proposed areas of partnership include quality assurance support for 3 Nigerian colleges, strengthening the GEMSET initiative, launching a 3-year AI applications program, leadership development for institutional heads, and expanding train-the-trainer programs. The Federal Ministry of Education reports that these engagements come as Nigeria rolls out its new free education initiative across federal technical colleges and selected state technical colleges. A clergyman, Deacon Gabriel Oluwashola of Christ Embassy Ministries, believes Nigeria's challenges can be addressed through prayers and action. While on Good Morning Nigeria, he highlights the upcoming Night of Bliss with Pastor Chris on Friday, November 21 in Lagos, where thousands will gather to pray for the nation's transformation.
Today, we have so many things happening that actually require the power of God. We have those in government, we have the security agency, they are doing their best, but you see, everything that you see happening in the physical, actually has its root from the spirits. There's a spiritual path of what is happening. A man of God of increase will be praying, will not only be praying for you, it will be praying for your family members, and at the same time, he has told us that he's going to be praying for this nation. So I'm actually looking forward, because if you look at our nation, Nigeria, no Nigerian has any reason for even thinking of running to other nations, because we have all that we require in this nation. We have resources in abundance. Talk about human resources, natural resources, we have them in abundance. So we should have people from other nations coming to Nigeria to be part of the deposit of God in our country, Nigeria. So a man of God has said that this meeting will mark, a major time of transformation, not only for Nigerians, but for our nation, Nigeria.
This is the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. More reports after the break. Don't go away.
Furniture's legendary final sale of the year is here. This festive season, enjoy extra savings on luxury and comfortable sofa sets, modern and functional dining sets, sophisticated and smart bed sets, and our royal collections, classy, premium, and truly exclusive. Shop 10 million naira and receive a complimentary Daisy tea set. Spend 15 million and take home a 65-inch smart TV. Go higher at 20 million and experience unmatched comfort with our exclusive massage chair. Visit our showrooms in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu, or shop online. It's big, it's bold, it's unforgettable. It's Baffy Furniture's legendary final sale of the year.
And the National Productivity Order of Merit Award goes to... The only tomato
tomato paste manufacturer to win the National Productivity Order of Merit Award by the Federal Government of Nigeria, endorsed by the Association of Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria. This is an evidence of 100% natural goodness, great quality and great taste. So eat healthy to live longer. Use Arisco tomato paste and products. Buy now and enjoy up to 20% discount.
Feel the power of precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads.
This is NTA News 24.
We're glad to know you're still there. The People's Redemption Party, PRP, has strongly condemned the statement by PDP's national factional chairman, Kabiru Turaki, who called for foreign powers to save Nigeria from its internal crisis. The PRP labeled the remark as reckless, unpatriotic, and a sign of an inferiority complex that continues to plague some of Nigeria's so-called politicians. The party's national chairman, Falolu Bello, in a statement, stated that such a call is an affront to Nigeria's sovereignty and the patriots who have fought to uphold it. Falolu Bello pointed out that such a call also reflects a troubling failure to have confidence in Nigeria's inherent resilience, its democratic institutions, regardless of the general perception about them, and the collective strength of its people. The fifth principle of PRP advocates for total liberation from imperialism, highlighting the belief that true independence is achieved when Nigeria's destiny is determined by Nigerians themselves, rather than allowing foreign interference to dictate Nigeria's future. Emphasizing that Nigeria is a sovereign republic, the PRP therefore urged Turaki to withdraw the statement and called on all Nigerian leaders to uphold the nation's dignity and resist undermining its sovereignty. The Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum has noted with concern the state of factionalization and internal strifes in some opposition political parties, especially in the People's Democratic Party. The forum expressed these at the end of its meeting in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports that the Igbo Agenda Dialogue also held a similar meeting with the resolve to participate actively in the 2027 general election.
This is an emergency meeting of the
members of the Southern and Middle Belt leaders met in Abuja, where they deliberated on the state of the nation. Part of their resolutions expressed concern over the turn of events in the national democratic space, especially as it pertains to the imperative of multi-party democracy and the sustenance of political pluralism.
We therefore call on the leadership of the ruling political party to put a check on the rising tendencies of the camping and tilting political alliances without due consideration of ideology and political persuasion.
The forum condemned the unfortunate recent killing of Brigadier General Uba and his colleagues in Borno State, and even more brazen, the abduction of students from Government Girls Secondary School, Maga, Kebbi State, as well as other heightened incidents of insecurity. At another similar meeting, the Igbo Agenda Dialogue resolved that all eligible Igbo people must actively participate in future electoral processes, beginning with the 2027 general election. It identified unity of purpose and mass political participation as key strategies to redraw the political map of Nigeria.
What we have decided is to stop complaining, and we have to take our destiny in our own hands. And by 2027, we are going to redraw the political map of Nigeria by ourselves, and we will make the difference in the outcome of that election.
The Igbo Agenda Dialogue also proposed Igbo Political Summit 2026, expected to feature the formal unveiling of the first Igbo Political Charter. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been commended for its wide-ranging transformational reforms geared toward economic recovery, job creation, infrastructural renewal, and social development. The Grand Patron of Team Senator Oluremi for Tinubu, Dr. Rufus Ebegba, gave the commendation while addressing members of the team alongside representatives from the 36 states of the Federation. He noted that Nigeria's comeback story is still unfolding, but firmly on course despite the challenging global environment.
We stand before you today with a renewed sense of hope, conviction, and patriotic responsibility to mobilize the media and all Nigerians towards a collective national agenda of continuity and sustainable progress under the capable leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Under the present dispensation, Nigeria is turning the bend from strengthening the economy, stabilizing the naira, and curbing inflation and unemployment to expanding access to education.
The president has done a lot. In 2 years, I can't pinpoint any president that has worked this hard in 2 years in this country.
This is the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Here is a recap of our top stories. Federal High Court convicts Nnamdi Kanu for inciting violence leading to death of innocent citizens. Child rights experts advocate balancing attention between the boy and girl child.
Birth registration is one of the fundamental rights of a child. It's the legal identity of every child in any country, including Nigeria.
Nigeria and Singapore are strengthening ties in technical and vocational education. The need for prompt action from relevant ministries and emergency agencies and state governments to mitigate the risk of rising trend in water pollution and contamination in some parts of the country has been re-echoed by the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NISA. Alika Okpanachi Arua reports that the agency revealed this during the press briefing in Abuja.
Addressing journalists, Director General of Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, disclosed that latest nationwide hydrological assessments revealed worrisome evidence of chemical pollutants, pathogenic microorganisms, and heavy metal deposits in key water bodies. The contamination, he observed, is largely driven by industrial discharge, agricultural runoffs, poorly managed waste dumps, and flooding incidents that have continued to introduce harmful substances into water systems.
Through continuous observation, hydrological monitoring, field measurements, satellite monitoring, and climate analysis, we provide early warnings that enable communities, governments, and emergency responders to prepare for floods, droughts, and other water risks.
The agency emphasized that while some states have made progress in water treatment and environmental protection, more coordinated efforts among federal, state, and local authorities is required.
The DG has introduced what we call flood insurance scheme,
so that we, the agency, can give them some kind of financial assistance to ameliorate their losses.
Other international bodies like the UN SPIDER, the UK Met Office, the WMO, we take action before the floods occur.
Announcing plans to intensify monitoring activities, the agency stressed the need for increased public awareness creation on safe water practices. In Abuja, Alika Okwanachi, Arua, NTA News.
That concludes the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am your carrier, Clinton.